Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, a.k.a. PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative Podcast. It's the podcast where we have digital discussions to the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports, and hockey. This is, of course, one of our 2018 NHL Entry Draft special one-on-one interviews on the podcast. We're talking to players that will have the opportunity to have their names called in Dallas, Texas on June 22nd and June 23rd. And we are speaking to forward with the Oshawa Generals in the Ontario Hockey League, Allan McShane. Allan, welcome to Popternative.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Crazy couple of weeks, combine, getting ready for the NHL draft. What's kind of going through your head these past couple of days?
Yeah, I think it's a good experience. I mean, I usually tell people not a lot of guys get to go through it. So, going through it with teammates, Serron Noel and guys like that, Nico Gross, and close buddies with them. So it's pretty special that way too. And, just trying to enjoy it while I can. And it's, it only happens once. So.
For all your hockey career thus far, when was the moment, whether it was, Adam, Pee Wee, Bantam, when did Allan McShane truly decide that he wanted to play hockey for a living?
Yeah, I mean, I started back when as early as I could walk. I mean, I was, I think, 2, and I always had a mini stick in my hand. So started skating, and it was just always kind of being the norm for me. And brother and sister, both older, both played. So, influenced me that way. And I think it's just kind of always been something where I haven't thought about it too much, but it's always come natural. So, I got to probably around 8 years old, and I was thinking, I'm good at this, and I think I can definitely take it somewhere.
What have been kind of some of the coolest moments that Allan McShane has been a part of so far? I mean, a lot is yet, the best is yet to come, one can make an argument, but you've had the opportunity to be part of a lot of cool events, cool games. What have been kind of some of the moments that stand out so far?
Yeah, I think best experience for me is probably Youth Olympic Games. I was in Norway, Lillehammer, so just a couple of years ago, it was my OHL draft year, and headed over there, and it was kind of, just a special experience. I got to meet people from different countries and from different sports, and, I'm really close friends with a lot of guys on that team still, so.
Absolutely. Who is Allan McShane on the ice, and who is Allan McShane off the ice?
On the ice, probably, I think the game slowed down, playmaker, not exactly too physical. I say off the ice, pretty calm, don't do too much, just keep to myself, have a close group of friends. I mean, off the ice is just, me with the gens, and, we usually catch a movie off season. We keep in touch and, try to keep that as open as I can for the season. But, I'd say not too different, pretty calm demeanor.
You kind of mentioned it before, being able to do this process with other NHL drafted eligible players like Serron Noel and Nico Gross. What have been some of the, what have been some of kind of the hardest things that you guys had to kind of take on this year, the Oshawa Generals? I mean, it was a grind of a season, a lot of adversity early on in the season. What were some of the takeaways?
Yeah, I think coach got sick at the start of the year, so I think it was a bit of a learning curve that way. I think the guys had to kind of rebound off that, and a bit of a younger team. I think it was just us learning to kind of, grow as a group and move forward. We're supposed to be, in a good position next couple of years, so it was mostly about just us as players getting as close as we can, bonding, making sure we're, a tight-knit group, and it's going to help us move forward.
Mm-hmm. And, the NHL Combine, you were invited, you participated in all the testing, you did some interviews of the NHL teams. How was that process like? How many teams did you interview with, and were there some kind of hard questions, or was it kind of just straightforward getting to know Allan McShane type questions?
Yeah, it was about 20 teams. It was a pretty cool experience. I mean, at times it was, tons of things going on. And then, there was days where didn't really have anything at all. So, it was a good chance to get to see you guys again. I think, definitely glad I was able to go. In terms of the questions, I think teams didn't ask anything too different than what I'm used to. I think most of it was pretty generic, but a few teams were, asking some different questions. There's a bus question, just trying to catch up.
Washington Capitals?
Yeah.
Carter Robertson from the Ottawa 67s said he had that question as well when he came on the show. Yeah, like they wanted to know what direction the bus was going in.
Yeah, lots of people are showing me the picture and asking me what I thought and that. So, yeah.
That's interesting. Someone also got like the are you a cat or a dog question. Did you get that question?
No, I didn't get anything like that. No.
It's a big year no matter what. I mean, you start the year off in the Oshawa Generals and, you want to focus on the OHL, but, you have the NHL draft. You have, possible camps for, the U18 Hockey Canada camps, and then, U20 coming down the road. I mean, there's all these things, right? How do you kind of block all of that and focus on the task at hand? Because it's always going to be there. It's almost like a fly in the windshield. You're focusing on the OHL with, Serron Noel and the rest of your team, but you're also going to kind of have like this fly in the windshield NHL draft. It's always going to be there buzzing. I mean, it's a good type of buzz rather than the annoying fly, but how are you able to kind of stay dialed in with everything and keep that on the side?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of media too, there's tons of things going on with rankings, and in interviews, people are asking you the same questions. How do you think you're doing? How do you think it's going to affect your draft stock and things like that? So I think best thing to do is just not take anything too seriously. Complete confidence in yourself is the best advice. I mean, for me, I think just trying to play my game and not pay too much attention to the outside. But at the same time, it's exciting. I mean, you can't downplay it too much. And, it is the draft. And like I mentioned before, not many people get to experience a lot of this stuff. So I'm definitely going to try to enjoy it as best I can.
You played major AAA, in the Toronto area as well. And that's, it's safe to say that that's just like a hotbed for hockey, that whole GTA area. What were kind of some of the things that you learned from playing in Toronto, and then going and getting drafted to Oshawa, which is not too far away? That was a really big year for you, point per game in AAA. How did you kind of take that and translate that to success in the OHL?
Yeah, I think it's, well-renowned league. It's a lot of people come out of it. And, I was lucky enough to play there from Collingwood. So, I mean, I had to make the move down to play there. And I think I was lucky to, have that competition. And, it translates well. I mean, when you move into the league, it's similar style and, similar amount of games you play. So, it's reflective. I think most people who play in the GTHL are pretty prepared for the OHL jump. And, I think the first year for me went pretty well. My rookie season was probably success. So I think, definitely played a role.
There's a lot of players from the OHL that are being they're really under the microscope. They're players, like Evan Bouchard, Ryan Merkley, Ty Delandra, Serron Noel, and yourself. How is that crop of players, do you think, kind of handling all of the press and all the things going? Because it's a learning experience as well, and it is part of your job, but you have to focus on the task at hand, like I said, on the ice. So that's another. So it's kind of similar to my first question about blocking out the noise, but it's enjoyable as much. Like, it's an enjoyable time as well, right, Allan?
Yeah. I mean, we may not seem like we pay too much attention to it, but we're all pretty close, and we talk, we get excited together, and me and Serron do share, a lot of the same excitement for building up to the draft. And, we talk about the teams we talk to, and we were close through that, type of experience. So it helps bring everyone closer together. And I think, we help each other out, and we want to see each other do as best we can. So it's definitely exciting. I don't think any of us have really, been in this situation before to this extent. So it's definitely special for everyone. Whoever you ask will say the same thing. What
were some of the things that you wanted to work on the most this year in terms of crafting your game? I mean, everyone says, bigger, faster, stronger, but was there anything specific? I'm not talking about the combine. I'm talking about your year with the Oshawa Generals.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, it's always the game's getting faster, so it's definitely one of the things. But I think for me, just I touched on it earlier about me being a bit of a playmaker. I think just shooting the puck a little more is important. So I think if I have a shot that if I can use it more, then that's a bonus. But this year I was playing with Serron, and he's a finisher. I find so passing the puck as much as I could kind of worked out. But at the same time, it's a balance. So trying to get everything in.
I find the OHL, the CHL, very interesting because it's a pro setting, but you're not pros. You guys are kids. You guys are kind of, learning every day. Every day is going to be a learning curve. But I find it interesting because it is a pro setting with, the big, it's a full season. There's road trips and everything, and there's also fans, you know what I mean, that want to meet you guys after games, whether it's win or loss, you know what I mean? Did you expect it to be at that level when you kind of showed up in the OHL for the first time, like when you started with Erie? Did you expect it to be like that, or was it like completely a shock to you, how there's like a pro setting in junior hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think Erie was a place, they have some diehard fans, so it's, eye-opening for sure. And you come in, and I was playing, in the same team as guys like Strome and DeBrincat and Radish, and these guys are, pretty much pros already. So, it's exciting. It's something where you're 16 and you want to get to where those guys are. And, you see how they, handle the fans, and you see how they are great people in the community. And I think it's definitely a good thing for anyone coming in first year. They get to see guys like that and learn. And, now we're going into the time now. It's guys my age are going to be role models for the new guys coming in. And it's a good cycle that way. I think CHL, if anything, with the fans is a great thing. It's good for the young kids that look up to us. And, I'm proud to be in that position.
You mentioned, you're a playmaker. Who are some of your favorite playmakers to watch in the NHL?
Yeah, there's just a few. I'm impressed with Backstrom all the time. He's, sees the ice really well. I mean, Kucherov can do it all. I think shoot and pass. It's exciting to watch him. He's one of my favorite players to watch. So, it's hard to choose. Everyone can, make plays in the NHL. So it's just kind of touching on, which players try to, mimic your game after some certain players, and try to use their skills to your advantage.
What do you think is the most difficult thing about being a hockey player? Is it like the mental game? Is it the physical game? What do you find challenging, and how do you attempt to kind of overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. I mean, you go through slumps and things like that. Your team's losing games, and then definitely the mental side comes in at that point. You're questioning yourself. You want to know why you're not, putting up as many points as you were, a few weeks ago. So there's definitely that, but it's something you can deal with. I mean, it helps, have a group of guys with you that are all going through the same thing, and they're a good support group. So that helps. And I'd say physical side of things, it's not too bad. I mean, everyone in the OHL is pretty capable and strong. So, as long as you're keeping your head up, you're fine that way. But mental side can definitely test you, and it's probably the biggest factor.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think we'll wrap up. But this is a question I've been asking, ending the show with for the NHL draft specials. Why should an NHL team draft Allan McShane?
I'd say, I have good hockey sense. It's the thing I fall back on. Not everyone has that. It's not a teachable skill. So, I think I can see the ice well. And I think, at the next level, if I can see the ice, the way that the pros do, it's going to help me make plays. So, that's important. I think, you can learn how to skate better. You can learn how to, you can get stronger in the gym. But, I think seeing the ice is definitely something that's not teachable.
Absolutely. Well, Allan, we wish you all the best ahead of Dallas for the draft. And, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Where can people follow you on social media?
Twitter, just got Instagram recently too. So, either of those would work.
And what's the handle? Do you know the handle?
Yeah, Allan_McShane. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, seriously, thank you so much for coming on the show, and all the best, man. Enjoy everything about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for the video episodes, Spotify, iTunes for the audio episodes. We have a lot of NHL draft interviews, so be sure to check them all out. Until next time, it's Allan McShane and Peter Beat signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.